Today in class we used this map to really solve different ways to get from one place to another. So for homework we're just practicing about the same skills. So for number 1 it says give the coordinates of each landmark. So they just want to know the X and Y, pretty much your ordered pair. So I'll go ahead and do the art museum first, and you can do B and C on your own. So the art museum is right here. And since this is X, it's at 6. And if I go up for Y, it's at 1. So that's my coordinate for just A. For number 2, it says, what is the shortest driving distance from the animal shelter, which is right here, to the stadium, which is all the way over here. If I'm driving, I'm going to have to take different blocks. So each of these units are actually blocks. So if I drive and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks to the west, and then to the north, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8 plus 5 gives me 13 blocks. I don't know if that's the shortest. I'm sure I can go up this way as well and go across, but it looks like I would be making a rectangle. So if that's the case, this length and this length are the same, and this width and this width are the same. So that could possibly be my shortest driving distance. So since I did number 2, you're going to go ahead and do number 3 on your own, where you're going to be driving from the hospital, which is right here, to the gas station all the way over here, and you're going to try and find the shortest route. Now, I think I can find another route if I go diagonally. Let me see if that becomes shorter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That still gives me 13 as well. So I'm going to say that number 2 is safe to say that 13 blocks is probably the shortest distance. So I'll skip number 3, and number 4 says, suppose you travel by taxi. What are the coordinates of a point halfway from City Hall to the hospital? So we'll answer one question at a time. So halfway from City Hall to the hospital. Here's City Hall right in the origin, and here's the hospital. So I'm going to count how many blocks it would take me to go from one place to the other. So if I go this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 I can definitely split in half. So if I say 5 blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this would probably be a possibility of a midpoint. So that would give me -5 and 0. That's probably not the only possibility, which leads us into the next question. Is there more than one possibility? Well, I don't have to go to the east and then down south. I can actually go south first and then go to the east. But it looks like I'm going to have the same length, which is 10 blocks, but let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Halfway would be 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at this point, it would probably be halfway. So that gives me -1 and -4. So those two could possibly be my midpoints. And if I were to explain in writing, I would talk about how it would take 10 blocks to get from City Hall to the hospital. So 5 blocks would be halfway from City Hall to the hospital, depending on which way we take. We can also go the staircase as well. So that's another possibility you can try. For number 5, it says, suppose you traveled by helicopter. What are the coordinates of point halfway from City Hall to the hospital? Is there more than one possibility? And you're going to explain. So from City Hall to the hospital, once again, since I'm in a helicopter, I don't have to follow the street rules. So I think I can actually fly directly from City Hall and go diagonally to the hospital. So now I have to figure out, how do I know where my halfway point is going to be? So if I take a look at this line, which is not very straight, I can say that from here to here, it's 2 blocks. From here to here, it's 2 blocks. So that's pretty even. And it'll probably meet in this point right here, me drawing 2 right triangles. So I can say that an estimate could be at -3 and -2. And is there more than one possibility? Probably. The helicopter doesn't have to fly diagonally. You can still follow the street lights and probably just go directly to the west, directly to the south. So I want you to think of other possibilities that we can use. If I were to explain, I just explained that there are 2 blocks going up, 2 blocks going down, and if we meet in the center with 3 blocks and 3 blocks here, my point would be -3, -2 to be the midpoint for the helicopter. 6A, which landmarks are 7 blocks from City Hall by car? So City Hall, I'm going to have to start counting how many blocks will lead me to several places. I'm just going to give a guess, maybe the cemetery. So if I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's exactly 7 blocks. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and write cemetery. But I want you to go ahead and try to figure out if there's another landmark that will actually give you 7 blocks, since it says landmarks. So there's a possibility that there is more than one answer. 6B, give precise driving directions from City Hall to each landmark listed in Part A. So you're going to have to tell me, how do I get from City Hall to the Art Museum? How do I get from City Hall to the hospital? And how do I get from City Hall to the greenhouse? So I'll do A for you for the Art Museum, and you're going to go ahead and do the hospital and greenhouse on your own. So from City Hall to the Art Museum, here's City Hall and the Art Museum's right here. So I'm going to say 1 block north, okay, that's my first set of directions. And then I'm going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks to the east. And then that will lead me to the Art Museum. So you're going to go ahead and do that for the hospital and the greenhouse from City Hall.